Hello friends, welcome back to our YouTube channel DS Tech Mirror. Topic for today video is how to add users to security group using Microsoft Graph API and Power Automate. In today's video, these are the things which we are going to learn. We will see how we can create a security group. Then we will see what is the difference between security group versus mail enabled security group. First, we will see how we can add users to security group using Graph API Explorer. And then what we will do, we will use this Graph API inside Power Automate and then we will add users to security group. After that, we will see what is the use of the security group. Basically, it is used to share resources in M365, how we can share Power BI workspace and Power Apps using security group. For today, there will be three users. How to create a security group that only tenant admin can do. So that will be one role. Then I will be using this test user 02 for the development purpose, test user 03 for the testing purpose. So this is the outline for the today's video, and trust me, it's going to be very interesting and very useful. So without wasting any more time, let's dive in very quickly. Now what I'll do, first let's see how we can create a security group. So I'll go to the Office 365. I am inside Office 365 portal. Over there, to create a security group, I have to go to the admin center. From here, I'll click on admin center, click on show all, and from here teams and group, click on active teams and group, and from here you can create a security group. Over here you can see teams and M365 group, distribution list, and security group. So today we will create a security group, so I will click on this security group link, and now over here you can see these two options: add a security group and add a mail enabled security group. So we will create both this group and then we will see what is the difference between these two groups. Now I will click on add a security group. Group name, we can say SJ underscore SJ hyphen our platform. This would be the name of my security group. So SJ hyphen power platform. I will keep it very short. Next, I will put a brief description. This group will be used to share Power Apps and Power BI. That's it. Next, then this is the setting. I will leave this as unchecked only. I am not going to assign any rules. Next, and create group. So here this is how you can create a security group. It is very simple. It just you should have a tenant admin access. Now as a next step, what I will do, I will click on add a mail enabled security group. So I will say SJ, that is security group hyphen mail enabled. I will type mail hyphen power platform. This time I will leave the description as blank. Next, I have to assign a owner. So I'll say test user 02 because that would be my and for today I will be using this test user 02 as the dev account for the development purpose. So I'll use test user 02. Next, members I will leave it as blank. Group email address, so I will say sj hyphen mail hyphen power platform. So this would become the mail. Next, and create group. So now we have created these two group. One is the security group and another is the mail enabled security group. So now I'll go back to my slide. Now we will see what is the difference between a mail enabled security group and security group. So guys, if you want to add users to a security group or mail enabled security group, you can do both manually. For example, if you can go to this M365 over here, tenant admin, and you can come over here, select any of the group, and you can add owners from here. You can add members from here. Both owners and members you can add. But if you want to use Graph API to add users to your group, so that you can only do to a security group. You cannot add users to a mail enabled security group using Graph API. You can only use Graph API to read members. Only read, only access we have, we cannot add. So that is the main difference. Other is we can use this group to send an email to all the members present inside this group. We cannot use this normal security group to send an email. So that's the only two main differences. But for today's video, the point I want to highlight is we cannot use Graph API to add members to mail enabled security group. Graph API cannot be added. So what I'll do, I'll try to highlight it. You cannot add users to mail enabled security group using Graph API. That is the main difference. And that means we cannot automate this process. So if there is any requirement in your project that you want to add users to mail enabled security group automatically, so I would say choose security group instead of mail enabled security group. And that I will show you in the demo as well. Using Graph API, we will see. So now we are done with this first point, create security group. We have covered the second point as well. What is the difference between these two types? And now let's go to the third point, how we can add users using Graph API Explorer. So for this, I will use this test user 02 development account. I will not use the tenant admin account. Now, what I'll do, I'm inside this test user 02. For here, I will log into Graph API. Now, I'll search group over here, and inside the groups, I can find add members to a group. So I will use this API. Over here, two things to note down. Here you need the group ID plus you need this user ID. In the request body, you will pass this user ID, the user to whom you want to add to the security group. Now, let's start with this. From where we can find this? When I will cover the Power Automate, I will show you how you can do it automatically inside Power Automate. For now, I will get it from the Azure AD. So what I'll do, I'll move to the Azure AD from here because these are Azure AD groups. So I'll say portal.azure.com, and from here I will navigate to Azure Active Directory. Here I'll get the groups. First, we will see our normal group SG Security Group Power Platform, and here is the object ID. Again, why I want to highlight is in your project you cannot get this object ID because there is a very less possibility you would be having access to this Azure AD. So that I will cover in the next step how you can get it automatically. So that also I will cover. So first let's see how we can add user. So now this is the group ID. I will pass. Group ID done. Next I want to pass the user. So what I'll do, I will add user. Let's say test user 05 I want to add. So I'll go to the user section. I'll come out of this groups and I'll click on users. I have certain test users, so I'll go choose this test user 05, and here I got the user ID as well. So now I'll pass the user ID. That's it. So these two are done, and now I will click on run query. So here I got this error, authorization request denied, insufficient privileges. Why I am getting this error? Because now test user 02 is not the owner for this particular account. To add members to this particular group, user should be the owner. For example, now I'll go to this again to my admin center, and over here I'll select this group and I'll add group owner. Now I'll make test user 2 as the group owner, and then let's see whether test user 02 will be able to add users or not. Test user 02 add. This is done. I'll go back to my Graph API Explorer with test user 02. I'll click on run query, and you see we have got the success. Now let's see whether test user 05 got added to the members group or not. I'll again click on this Power Platform SJ members. Right now, no members. I'll try and refresh the screen. Members, and here you could see test user 05. So we are able to add members to this group using Graph API successfully. Two things to note down: we need the group ID as well as we need this user ID. That we will see how we can get it automatically in the next step. Another thing which I will quickly show you over here. Now, what if I try to add user to a mail enabled security group? I said that that is not possible using Graph API. Now I will show you how. So now I'll again go to this Azure AD. Again, I'll go to the groups and I will say, give me mail enabled security group. Okay, I'll come out first. I'll go to the groups. Okay. and here I will say yes, security group mail enabled. I'll copy the object ID as the group ID. I'll come back to the Graph Explorer. I'll only change this ID. Now, before I click on run query, let me change the owner for this group as well. So here I'm inside the M365 admin center, security group. This is our mail enabled one. I'll come to the member section. Here I have to add the owner. So test user 02 is already the owner because I have added it while creating this group. Now I'll simply go and click on run query. So over here we are not able to see that message that this is a mail enabled security group. It is giving us this authorization request denied. So that I will cover in my Power Automate. When I will create the Power Automate, there I will show you. Now I'll go back to my slide. Over here now we have covered this add users to security group by Graph API Explorer. Now what I will do, I will create this Power Automate flow. Now for that I'll go to this make.powerautomate.com. Over here I have already created this flow, but for this particular demonstration I will create a flow from scratch. Now the scenario what I have created a very simple scenario. Here I've created a in SharePoint, I've created a list called security group. Over here, user will enter the security group name and the employee to whom they want to give the access. The moment they will add, Power Automate will trigger and Power Automate will add this user to the security group. Now, one thing you should note over here is I'm not passing the ID, I'm passing the name because in real-time scenarios, user would be having the name of the group but not the ID. ID we will get inside the Power Automate. Now, let's jump over here. I'll say new flow. Flow name would be demo. Add members to security group. I will use a trigger, SharePoint trigger, when an item is created or modified. Now over here, what I'll do, I'll add the site address. This is my site. I'll add the list and list is the security group. So this is also done. Now as a next step, what I need, I'll add the HTTP action for the Graph API. Here comes the important part. Now over here, I'll use the post method as we can see because that's why I executed everything in the Graph API Explorer so that we would be having a reference how we are doing all these steps. So you could see this is a post method. So I'll select post over here. URI I will copy it from here. That's it. All the hard codings I will remove. Headers I'll go to the request header. I could see there is only one header and this is I will copy the header part now. Content type and application slash JSON. This would be my header. Now the next step in this HTTP action would be the authentication part because this Graph API is Azure protected. If I expand this authentication option, there are various options: basic, client certificate, Azure Active Directory, raw. Okay, so we will use this option called Azure AD authentication. In this option, what we will do, we will register an application in Azure AD and from there we will get the tenant, audience, client ID, credential type is secret and secret. Now I will not cover how you can register an app in Azure AD because that I've already done and the video name is how to use Microsoft Graph API in Power Automate. Link is in the description box below. Over here, there is already an app which is already registered. I will use that. So that you can, if you are not aware how you can register an application, that you can see in that particular video. So over here, this is app registration and this is that app which I have created called Graph API using Power Automate. So I will get once you will register the app, you will get all the information from here. You have to just copy and paste over there. This is the client ID which I have got. So client ID, I will paste it over here. Client ID. Next, I want tenant ID. Tenant ID is here. Tenant ID is done. Client secret because credential type is client secret. So if you see client credentials, two secrets are there. Okay, over here both got encoded. I cannot get it. So what I will do, I will use the same secret in my another Power Automate flow which I've already created. I will get it from there quickly. So I'll just open. I forgot to copy that client secret in the notepad. So for now, what I'll do, I will get it from here. And here is my client secret. So once you will register an app, make sure you immediately copy the client secret and keep it safe with you. Otherwise, this will, after some time, this will get encoded like this and you cannot get it back. So now I've got all the information from here. I'll go back to this particular application. Yes. Now let's see what all we have got. We have got the tenant ID, client secret, everything we have got. Audience, you have to mention https graphapi.com, this one. So I will copy it from here again in the interest of time. It's not copied. Control Z. Yes. https graph.microsoft.com. So that would be your audience. You can copy it from here also. So guys, now for the authentication part, I have added all the details. Now let's go to the Graph API Explorer, and from the body, I'll copy this and I will paste it over here in the body. Now I think I've added everything. This is the uh, security group ID and this is the user ID. Right now this is hard coded. In a moment we will make it automatic. Now if I try to save, this will not work, and this is because how we are saving this JSON in the body. It is saying fixed invalid expression. Now this error is because of this special character called at the rate. If I remove this at the rate, this will work. See, and because of this at the rate, this is not working. So how we can add this JSON body over here? For that, what I will do, I will create a variable over here. I'll say initialize variable. I'll add the variable name as graph API JSON, graph API JSON. I will name it as string, and the same variable, everything I will just paste it over here. This is done. And now to add this over here, what I will do, I will simply pass this variable over here and try to save. I will click on save, and now it is working. This is how I will add this JSON in the body of this HTTP action. I will rename this HTTP action also so that we can understand. This is graph API add members. So now this is also done. Now what we need to see, we need to get the ID, user ID first we will automate. For that I will use another action called user action. And over here, get my profile. So what we will do, inside this list security group, we will add the group name and the user. And this will trigger our flow. So from here, from the trigger, I will get the user email. UPN is the user principal name, that is the user email will work. My column name is employee and I will add employee email. This will give me the user ID, and I will move this action over here from here, and here I will remove this hard coded ID. So now whatever user I will add, I will get it the ID over here. So this is how I have automated the ID part. Now no need to get the ID from the Azure AD. This get my profile. Whatever the user I will add in this SharePoint list, this action will give me the ID and I pass this to this. Now how I will get the security group ID? That also I will get with the help of Graph API only. Now let's quickly go to this Graph API Explorer and I will show you. For example, let's say there is a API over here, get all members in my organization. Let me quickly search, get list all groups in my organization. If you will enter over here, this will give you all the groups, but you do not need all the groups. You need limited, or you need only one particular group. For that I will use this filter over here. Again, the filter code I will get it quickly from here and I will show you, and I will paste this over here, slash, not slash. This is the query string. Display name I will add it from here. Now display name is sg-pp, and now you see this will give me the ID. See, if I remove this filter just to show you the default query which we are getting from this explorer, this is giving me all the groups along with all the attributes. So just to get the better performance, what I have done, I've added this query string. I've used this filter. Display name we have. Display name we will put it in the SharePoint list, and I'm saying give me the ID. So I'll use this Graph API, another Graph API to get the ID. And over here I'll call this Graph API again HTTP action, HTTP, and here I will paste this get method. This is get. This is done. quickly see whether we have any headers, no headers, nothing we need, and everything is fine. It just I have to use the same authentication part, Active Directory auth. I will use the same application, and from here I will copy everything. So I'll say this is my tenant ID, same application I'm using. Audience is https graph.microsoft.com. This is the audience. Then client ID. This is the client ID. Client credential is secret. I will copy the secret. Client credential secret. This is the secret. And I will save this flow. Before that, I will rename get group ID. This is also done. Save. Invalid URI. Let's see what is the issue with this URI. Okay, this display name we have to automate. We cannot use this. This is fine. Okay, display name equal to sgpp. Instead of this, I will get it from the SharePoint list, and that column is title from my SharePoint list. This is title, and now everything looks fine. Let's quickly see if there is any error, and it got saved successfully. Now this will give me the group ID, and I have to parse it because that response will come in the form of a JSON. So I have to parse that JSON. I'll use that parse JSON first, but before that I would be needing that output. So now what I will do first, I will save this partial flow. This is not fully completed, but let's try to save it. It's already saved. Test, and I'll say manually. Now I'll add one item over here, and I'll say sj hyphen pp employee name. I will add test user 06 and save. This is done. This should trigger our flow. Flow run failed, no problem. Okay, it got failed over here. Let's see what is the issue. So guys, I got the error. This is my bad. I've added the incorrect action over here. This is get my profile. I was supposed to add get user profile. And I think by mistake I've added a wrong action, because of which it is giving us an error. So I will quickly replace this. That's it. So make sure you use the correct action, that is get my profile. Sorry, get user profile again. Somehow this is coming wrong. This is the action, get user profile version 2. This we will use. User principal name, this is employee email. I will get rid of this section, delete. And what we have to do, we have to update our variable over here. It got deleted. Now I will add this ID. Now I think now it should work. Okay, now let's test quickly. Automatically with the recently used trigger, save and test. This got failed, no problem. This was not our motive to see. Now over here, what we were supposed to see, we have got this user ID. This is working fine. Now over here, what I was supposed to do, I wanted to get this body from here, because, and I will copy it because our next action is to get the ID. So I'll say notepad, because still we have not worked on the last action. This is still not finalized. We have to update the ID. This ID we need to get it. Now this is inside this JSON, so I have to use parse JSON. And why I have copied that I have already explained in my earlier few of my videos. So parse JSON content is the get group ID body, because that was present in the body. Now schema I need. Schema I have to get it from the sample, and if you are working regularly with the Power Automate, you must be aware about this. I will paste it over here. From where I have got it, I got it from this particular output. This is fine. I got the parse JSON. Now from the parse JSON, I need the ID. So for the ID part, again I'll initialize a variable. I'll say initialize variable, and name of the variable would be vr group ID. This would be string value. I will rename this quickly. I'll say initialize variable security group ID, and this also I will rename. This is the JSON part. I will say initialize variable graph API JSON. I'll say body JSON, because that JSON was part of the body. This is fine. And over here, now this is also nice. I need to replace this ID only, but before that, what I'll say, after parse JSON set variable, I'll store that output in a variable. I'll say variable and I'll say set variable. Set variable would be group ID, and from where I'll get parse JSON ID. This will give me the ID. This is an array automatically applied to each loop will be appended, and I'll come down. I'll remove this group ID, and now we will get it automatically with the help of this variable. Now I think we are all done. Now I think I am done with the flow. Before I test it, I will quickly explain you at a high level what I have done, and then we will test it. So guys, what is happening is I will add an entry over here in this SharePoint list. Group name on which I need access and the username. This will trigger my flow. Get user profile will give me the ID of the user to whom we need to give the access. That ID I need. After that, these are two variables. I use this graph API to get the ID. This is the graph API, and authentication part I have done with the help of this Azure AAD, and over there I have registered an application in Azure uh, AAD called graph API. How you can do that? Link is in the description box below. And one more thing, API permissions, what I have granted to this app is this directly dot read write all group dot read write all. So these permissions you can take a snapshot and you can try. Now this is done. After that, once I got the group ID, I've used parse JSON. I store it in the variable and I have paste with this graph API to add the group members. Again, one body we have to append to add the users, that is the JSON. Because of the special character, this was not working. So I saved it in a variable over here at the top, and with the help of this variable, we are directly passing it. And group ID also I have passed to this variable. I wanted to test it, save. Now I'll say test, this time manually. I wanted to test it with test user 03. So here I will come. I will just simply make a fake edit. I'll say TT, I'll remove, and this should save. I'll refresh. Still 8 minutes ago. That means our edit didn't work. Let me try. Yes, still it is not triggered. So I will add test user 06, remove test user 0. Let me try with this test user 05 first. Now this will also work as a save. Now this is fine. I'll click on remove few seconds ago. This will trigger a flow. Flow run failed. Okay, let's see what is the error. One or more edit object references already exist for the following modified properties member. Let's see bad request. Okay, now let's see. We are adding this user called test user 05. I think this user already present over here. I will refresh first. I'll go to security group, SJPP, members. Test user 05 is already present. What I'll do, I'll remove all the members for now so that we can keep on testing it easily. So guys, this is working. This just because our member is already present in that particular list. Now this is getting saved. Done. I'll quickly go to my flow to test user 02. Yes, this is my flow. I'll close this existing flow as well. I'll close the graph API. Okay, leave it if I want to explain you something again. And what I'll say edit, test automatically with the recently used trigger, test. Flow is running and flow ran successfully. And guys, we have done it. We are finally able to add a user in a security group automatically, and let's go and see. Still not added, just have to refresh security group. Once this is done, and members, and you could see test user 03 finally got added, because in the list I have added test user 03, and we have done this automatically. So guys, we have done, and with this we will reach to the last part of the video. Now I'll move to the PPT quickly. So last part is share Power BI workspace and Power Apps using security group. Now what I'll do, I'll show you something quickly. This would be quick. I'll go to this test user 03 now. This is test user 03. Okay. Over here, I will open one Power BI workspace. This is the Power BI workspace. And if you see, the workspace's development. Now copy and I'll open this with test user 03 and you can see you do not have access. Now what I will do, I will go over here in the workspace manage access and I will add this group which we have created and the group is sj-pp and test user 03 is part of this group. So what should happen? User should get the access automatically. And this is how you can automate this. For example, now every week you are about to add few users to this workspace based on the request. So what you can do, you cannot do that manually. So this is how you can automate it. You can create a Power Automate flow that will automatically add users to the security group, and you have added the security group over here because you cannot go and manually add user over here. So if you have to automate this giving access part, so that you can do through this process. Now I've added the group. I'll go to this test user 03 and I will refresh it again, cancel, and I will paste. And you could see user have got the access. This is how we can do access sharing. For example, I'll give you one more example of the Power Apps. Now I have got this Power App called Help Desk Ticket. Now, if I have to share this app with multiple users on a repeated basis, I have to come over here and add users. So that is not the right approach. You should use security group to share your resources in Power Platform or M365. Over here, I will come sj-pp. Before that, let me show you. User is not going to access this app. So I'll say details. I will copy this link and in my Edge browser, I have this test user 03. I will copy paste and request access. Now I will go over here and I'll say share and I will add a security group sj-pp. This is done. Send an email notification. No, I'll make a co-owner. I'll say share. Done. So this is the link. I will copy and over here I paste. And now I'm able to access the app. So as I said, that was the cache issue. So guys, this is how you can share your resources in the M365. Now we have reached to the end of this video. Before that, I will do a quick recap because this had been a long video. So I'll just try to join all the dots. So initially what we did, we created a security group. Why we need security group? Because for example, I want to share a Power App with a large group. Manually adding users to the Power App is not possible. Either I create a security group and I will add members to the security group. Now adding members to the security group manually is also not a good idea if we are getting large number of requests on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. To cover such scenarios, what we have done, we have created a Power Automate flow and using Graph API, we are adding members to the security group automatically. Which is what we have done. Now with this slide, I remember that I promised you that I will show you mail enabled security group we would not be able to do. I'll quickly show you that. For that, what I will do, I'll go to this Power Automate flow. Now what I have to do, I have to quickly add a new item over here and I will add the mail enabled security group. That's it. I'll close this also. So what I'll do, I'll just put it on test so that it get triggered very quickly, manually save. Okay. Now I will make another request, add new item. I'll copy the name of the group from here, sj-mail-pp and I'll add test user 03 only, save. And now this will trigger the flow and flow run failed. And you could see the message clearly, cannot update a mail enabled security group or distribution. Guys, this is how what I wanted to prove to you, which this error we were not able to get it inside the Graph API Explorer. Over here, you can clearly see. So this is where I was putting an emphasis that if you are creating a group, make it a normal security group. Guys, with this guys, now I reached to the end of this video. Hopefully this is a long video but very informative. We have covered multiple scenarios and very important aspects of the Power Platform. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please like and share the video and subscribe to the channel to get notification for our upcoming videos. Till our next video, much love, keep learning. Thank you.